Hey, what's up, guys? My name's Charlie, and I want to help you build wealth in real estate. Real estate can be a phenomenal investment vehicle if you know what you're doing. The problem is it's really risky and can be extremely confusing. So I'm here to demystify real estate, and I'm here to help you build wealth. All right. Today, I'm very excited for this topic. I don't even know what to call it, but I think I want to call it something like hacking my way to wealth. I don't know. So a few years ago, I saw a video that talked about how you could pay your mortgage off in 5 to 7 years, something like that. And I thought it was a scam. I clicked on it because that's who I am. I click on scams. I'm the one that falls for the Nigerian prince scam. Not really. What I love about this topic really changed my life and my mindset and quite frankly, my outlook, my financial outlook. What I did is as I was looking through that video, pay off your mortgage in 5 to 7 years, I started doing the math and realized, okay, this actually kind of makes sense. And I built a calculator that I still use now. Calculator's amazing. And it lets me, I'm a numbers person, I'm very analytical. And so what I wanted to do is plug in my actual numbers into the property to see, okay, what does this look like for me? And how can I pay off my home soon? You know, we have a 30-year loan. Most people do. Some people have 15-year and you know, 20 years out there as well. But we have a 30-year loan. And I don't know if we're going to live here for 30 years, but I wanted to basically change the way I was using my money and have my money work for me. We were taught growing up, you know, get a 30-year loan, pay off the loan, you know, but you move. And so you can take that equity and put it into another home. And that's okay. I think the issue is there's better ways out there and people don't talk about it. Banks don't talk about it because they don't want people to know. So what we did is we went to a local credit union and took out a HELOC, home equity line of credit. A HELOC is essentially like a credit card that is used. It's a secured line of credit against your home. So you have the mortgage, which has first lien. The second lien is the HELOC. So if for whatever reason we got foreclosed on, we didn't make our payments, what would happen is the bank would sell our home. First position, the mortgage company would actually get their money back. And then if there's money left over, the credit union would get their money back. And if there's any money left over, we would get the rest. So that's how that works. You got first lien, second lien, and most HELOCs are a second lien. Not always, but usually they're a second lien. The downside with HELOCs is it is a floating interest rate, and it usually goes with prime. So when the interest rates go up, the home equity line of credit, the interest rate will go up as well. When we first started, our interest rate was in the 4s. I think it's around 7. At its highest. But one of the benefits of a HELOC and what we did with that, the HELOC, what you can do is you can use that money like a credit card, and the interest rate is much lower than a credit card. So interest rate on a HELOC may be 6 to 8%, on a credit card, maybe 15 to 20%. Those are kind of generalizations. It definitely varies on your credit and a lot of other factors. But what we did is we got a line of credit against our house. And what some people do is they do additions to their property. They pay for college for their kids. They pay off a car. They pay off a credit card, whatever they do. That you may have friends, or maybe you used a HELOC in the past, and those are some examples. But what we did is we took $50,000 out of that line of credit and put it immediately, literally that same day, on our mortgage, on the principal. So our mortgage, and I don't remember the exact numbers, let's just say that our mortgage, the principal that we owed on our home was $250,000. we immediately put 50,000 from the HELOC, from the line of credit, to the principal balance. So that 250 balance immediately dropped to $200,000. Now we had 50,000 that we owed to this line of credit. So you may be thinking, well, it's the same amount of debt that you owe. What's the, like, why? That doesn't make any sense. And you're right. That took me a very long time to understand and wrap my small brain around that. But after I was digging into the numbers, I realized, okay, I've now paid off this my home, because I'm going to keep making the same mortgage payments every month. I've now paid it off 7 years sooner if I never put an extra penny into this besides the normal mortgage. And with this $50,000, I can pay that off in a year or so, just using my extra income and paying down that line of credit. So as I realized that I would pay this off for 7 years sooner, my mortgage 7 years sooner, this would only take me a year to do it. I started playing with the numbers and said, how long could I actually pay off my home if I paid off the line of credit, then took $50,000 and put it back into the property, to the mortgage, and that would keep dropping and dropping and dropping. And then as this was $50,000, I'd pay that off with all the income, and that would go down and go down. I'd put another 50,000 into the line of to the mortgage, and I would repeat that process a few times. I would have had the property paid off in roughly 6.5 to 7 years. I don't remember the exact number. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. Now I would have saved over $100,000 in interest at the same time, because what happens with a mortgage, when you first get a mortgage, that first month, if the mortgage is for $200,000, you're paying interest on $200,000. So the interest is going to be the biggest. Only a small percent of your mortgage payment goes towards principal. And so the next month, maybe you've only paid, maybe you paid $2,000 for your mortgage, but your mortgage, your principal only dropped maybe $200 at most, probably less than that. So what happens is now you're paying interest on, $199,900, right? And so every month you're paying a little bit more on your principal and a little bit less on your interest. Well, what happens with the HELOC is I just paid off $50,000 in principal just like that. It would have taken me years to pay off that amount of money if I went the normal route of paying off my mortgage, my principal every month, like most people do, like I did many, many times. So I started using my HELOC to pay down my home. And that's where I thought I was good. And I felt really good about myself. I realized I would get my home paid off 7 years sooner, and I could still pay off my HELOC. No big deal. I'll pay that off. And so instead of putting that money into savings, I put it towards the HELOC. But then I had an epiphany, and that's a big word for me. I'm proud of myself for saying it. But I had an epiphany where I said, okay, what if instead of putting that 50,000 into my property, into my single family home, what if I invested that into real estate? And so when I was doing the math, I buy apartments, and we typically project or forecast our investors to double their money every 5 years or less. And so I said, I'm actually going to start investing in apartments instead of putting the money on the property, on my single family home. So fast forward, in about a year, we should be able to pay off all of our home, all of our debts, and have a lot of money left over. And then what I'm going to do is take out a line of credit, because our home would be completely paid off. It's gone up in value a lot since we started this process. I'm going to take out another line of credit on our property, and I'm making this number up, but let's say the line of credit is for $500,000. I'm going to take that money and reinvest that into apartments where I can double or more my money every few years. And that would let me pay off, or I'm sorry, the home would be paid off already. That would help me pay off the HELOC and continue building wealth. That was a lot, and it took me a long time to kind of understand how that process worked. I don't regret it at all. There's, there are some risks like losing a job, not being able to pay, the line of credit or your mortgage. And I have a lot of mitigation strategies with that. If you're interested, let me know. Happy to talk to you. But that is something that we've been using for a few years now, and it's not taught in school. School doesn't teach you much about finances anyway, but that's not taught. That's something that I kind of figured out. I kind of found by accident. And at the same time, I was also learning about apartments, getting into apartments. And so I kind of put the two together and realized, holy cow, I can reach financial freedom. I can pay off all my debts. I can keep building wealth with minimal risks. I was hooked. I hope you liked the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Put the comments below. Happy to answer any of them. Thank you.